In today's video, I'm using wood Christmas crafting blanks to make some quick and easy Christmas decor. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel Creatively Expressive. My name is Amy, and on my channel I share DIYs, thrift flips, budget decor, and all things creative. Now without any further ado, let's get started. For project number 1, I will be making a Grinch-inspired Nutcracker. For this project, I am using this unfinished wood drummer Nutcracker that I got at Michael's for 40% off. The first thing I'm going to do is snap the nose off the Nutcracker's face. Then I used an emery board to sand that area smooth. Now I'm starting with the color Kiwi by Apple Barrel. And I will use that color to paint the face, hands, and Nutcracker mouth. Now I'm using the color Red Apple by Apple Barrel to paint the Nutcracker's coat. Then I found an image of the Grinch's face online, and I sized it to fit the Nutcracker's face. And I cut it out using my cutting machine on black and yellow permanent vinyl. I combined the two vinyl colors together, and now I'm going to apply the vinyl face to the Nutcracker. And if you don't have a cutting machine, you can always just paint the face on. I bought this little Santa pet costume from the Dollar Tree last year because I thought eventually I'd come up with an idea for it. I was thinking the Nutcracker needed a Santa hat, and I thought maybe the hat from the costume would work. And it turns out that the hat fits this Nutcracker perfectly. If you look at a picture of the Grinch in his Santa suit, you'll notice that he has on some low-top shoes. So in order to make mine match, I will paint a line around the leg lower down near the foot with red. Then I will paint that area in and also paint the feet red. Once I have the shoes painted red, I will paint the rest of the Nutcracker's legs with that kiwi green color. Now I'm going to use the color Christmas green to paint the drum. Then I will paint the top and the bottom of the drum and also the drumsticks with the color Golden Sunset. And once that Golden Sunset color has dried, I will paint over it again with some metallic gold by Folk Art. Now all that's left to paint is his belt and the base, and I'm going to paint those ink black by Waverly. I wanted to add a bit of green fur to the Nutcracker, so I purchased this green fur from Amazon. I'm going to cut out a small rectangle the size of the Nutcracker's mouth from the fur. And when I am cutting the fur, I'm trying to cut through just the back side of the fur and not through the front, so that I can have a long beard. Now I'm going to hot glue the little beard to the Nutcracker's mouth. I have this white minky yarn that I got from Walmart, and I am going to use it to add some fur trim to the Santa suit. First, I am going to hot glue some of that yarn around the tops of the boots. Then I will add it to the top of the suit, the bottom of the suit, and the sleeves. Now I cut 2 more pieces of that green fur, and I'm going to use the pieces to give the Grinch some hair. Then I will put the Santa hat on the Nutcracker and hot glue it into place. And finally, I will fold that hat over to one side and glue it down. For project number 2, I will be making a Nutcracker inspired by the movie Elf. For this project, I will be using this unfinished wood elf Nutcracker that I got from Michael's for 40% off. Buddy the elf has a yellow stripe around his hat, so first I am going to draw one of those onto the Nutcracker's hat. Now I'm going to paint the jacket with the color Shamrock Green by Apple Barrel. Then I'll paint the hat with that same green color. Now I'm going to use the color Sunkissed Peach to paint the elf's face and hands. And I will use the color Red Apple to paint the gift box that the elf is holding. Then I will use the color Yellow by Apple Barrel to paint the pants and the stripe around the elf's hat. I want to paint the bow on the gift box yellow too, but I got some red paint on it. That yellow paint doesn't cover very well, so I'm going to paint the bow white first. And I am also going to paint the base on this Nutcracker white. Then I will paint the little gift bow yellow. Now I'm going to use the color Ink by Waverly to paint the elf's belt and also the elf's shoes. I want to add a small gift tag to the gift, so I'm going to cut one out of this scrap piece of a craft stick. I drew a rectangle on the craft stick, and then I used a craft knife to cut it out. Then I used my miter shears to cut 2 angles at the top of the tag to make it look more like a gift tag. Then I sand those edges smooth. Now I'm taping a piece of masking tape down to my craft mat, sticky side up, and I will stick that little gift tag to the tape. I am doing this to hold it in place to make painting it easier. Then I will set the tag aside to dry. Now I'm going to dip the end of this clay tool into some gold paint and then press it against the elf's suit to make little gold dots around the edge of the suit. Buddy the elf has a little red feather in his hat, but I don't have any little red feathers. So I'm going to make one with a piece of red felt. I cut a small rectangle out and then I curve the edges. Then I will cut tiny triangles out along the edges of the feather shape to give it a more feathery look. Now I'm taking a black Sharpie marker and I am writing the word Dad onto the little gift tag. Then I will hot glue the little tag to the gift box. Buddy the elf has a fur trim collar and cuffs on his suit. To make that, I'm going to use the white fur trim collar from this little Santa pet costume. I unfolded the trim piece, and then I folded one half of it in half. I glued down the edge and then I cut the other half off. So now my fur trim is half the width of the trim that it was on the pet suit. I'm going to cut one end into a curve and then I will glue this onto the Nutcracker to make a fur collar. Then I will take more of the fur trim and glue it around the bottom of the sleeves to make fur cuffs. Now I mix the sun-kissed peach with a bit of orange and brown paint to make a slightly darker shade of peach, and I'm going to use that color to paint a smile onto the Nutcracker. Then I will dip the handle of my paintbrush into brown paint and I will press it onto the elf's face to give him some brown eyes. Now for the final step, I'm going to give the elf a little gold belt buckle. For project number 3, I will be making this gingerbread man face. For this project, I will be using this unfinished wood ball ornament that I got from Michael's for 40% off. The first thing I am going to do is paint the entire thing with the color Cinnamon by Folk Art. Then I am going to paint the ornament cap with Metallic Gold by Folk Art. Now I'm going to mix the color Coffee Bean with Cinnamon to get a slightly darker shade of the cinnamon. Now I am taking an angled paintbrush and dipping it into water. Then I am going to dip just the pointed end into some of the paint that I just mixed up. Now I'm going to paint along the edge of the ornament with my brush, placing the pointed end right against the edge of the ornament. And the water on the brush varies the color on the brush from darkest to lightest, creating a shading effect. Now I'm going to rinse out my brush and dip the wet brush into the cinnamon color unmixed, and I will fill in the rest of the ornament. I went on Etsy and I found this gingerbread man face cut file, and I cut it out on stencil vinyl. I wanted to have some shading around the facial features, so I had a plan on how to do that, but I ended up doing it wrong. And I'll explain what I should have done. I cut out the face in the center of a circle about the same size as the ornament. I put the circle with the face cut out onto the ornament. Then I dipped my paintbrush into the darker cinnamon color that I mixed up, and I wiped almost all of it off of my brush. Then I will swirl my almost dry brush over the facial features on the stencil, creating shading. What I should have done is place the actual cutout facial features from the stencil vinyl onto the ornament and not the outside circle part. And the reason why is that I wanted the shading to be on the outside of the facial features and not the inside of them like they are here. So to fix that, I'm just going to add some additional shading just outside of the areas that I have already shaded. Now I cut out a second stencil and I'm placing it onto the ornament, trying to center it over the shaded facial features. Now I'm going to fill in the eyes and the nose on the stencil with black paint. Then I will fill in the icing with white paint. Then I will peel up the stencil. Now I'm going to fill in the rest of the eyes with white paint. And I will fill in the nose with red paint. Then I will give him some rosy cheeks by using this color Pink Polish by Apple Barrel. And I am going to apply the pink color the same way I did the shading. I am going to dip the brush into the pink paint and then wipe most of it off. And I will slowly build up the color until I think I have enough. Now I will outline everything again with black paint to clean up all the paint that I added after I added the first layer of the black paint. Then I am going to add a bit of shine to the nose with white paint. Now I wanted to add a bow. For the bow, I'm using this gingerbread man ribbon that I found at Goodwill, this scrap piece that I have left over from some ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, and this red ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby for 50% off. I'm going to cut the gingerbread man ribbon and the red ribbon to the same length as the scrap piece. Then I'm going to fold all three pieces in half to mark the centers. Now I'm going to crisscross the two fatter ribbons, and then I place the skinnier ribbon straight down the center of the two fatter ribbons. Then I will use a pipe cleaner to hold all three ribbons together. Now I am going to fold the ribbon pieces in half and cut the ends at an angle. Then I use a lighter to heat seal the ends of the ribbons. I'm going to tape a piece of painter's tape, sticky side up to my work mat, and then stick one of these little unfinished wood gingerbread men that I got from the Dollar Tree to the tape. Then I will paint the little gingerbread man with the color cinnamon. Now I'm going to hot glue the bow to the gingerbread man, and then hot glue the little gingerbread man to the center of the bow, and this project is complete. For project number 4, I'm going to be using this unfinished wood gingerbread man that I got from Michael's for 40% off. The first thing I am going to do is paint the entire thing with the color Cinnamon by Folk Art. Then I decided to remove those buttons that are on the gingerbread man and repaint him. Now I'm going to paint 4 of these little Santas from this wood Christmas icon set that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to paint the faces with the color Sunkissed Peach. Then I'll paint his hat, gloves, and suit with the color Red Apple. After that, I'll paint the fur trim and his beard white. Then I'll dip the end of this clay tool from Dollar Tree into the color black and then press it against his face to make his eyes. Then I'll paint his belt and boots black and give him a little metallic gold belt buckle. Now I'm going to place the gingerbread man on top of a piece of paper and trace the head. I marked the center of the head and now I'm going to sketch out a little face. I will cut the face out and then I'm going to coat the back side of the face template with white chalk. Now I'm taping the template to the gingerbread man and then I'm going to trace over the face to transfer the chalk outline to the gingerbread man. Then I'm going to use a fine detailed paintbrush to paint over those chalk lines. I'm going to paint the eyes, eyebrows, and mouth with black chalk paint. And I am blending the paint with just a bit of water to make it thinner, because I find this makes it easier for me to get the paint to glide on smoother, which is something I need when painting on finer details. Then I'm going to paint the nose red and fill in the rest of the eyes with white paint and add a bit of shine to the nose with white. Then I will dip the end of my paintbrush and a clay tool into white paint and add highlights to the eyes. Then I will go back over the eyes with more black paint to clean up the white area. Now I'm going to dip my paintbrush into some red paint and then wipe almost all of it off. Then I will take that almost dry brush and swirl it over the cheeks to give him some little rosy cheeks. Then I'll go back over the smile with more black paint. Now I'm going to use this white rickrack for the icing on the gingerbread man. I'm going to wrap it around the legs, cut it, and then hot glue it on. Then I'll hot glue it in a spot right in the center of his forehead and then curve it a bit to frame the face and hot glue it down. And then I'll wrap it around the back of the head and hot glue it down in the back. Now I'm going to use some of this skinny red polka dot ribbon that I got from Walmart to make a little bow tie. I cut a small piece, wrap it into a circle, and glue the ends together. Then I'll hot glue the ribbon circle together in the center, and I'm going to pinch it while the glue is still hot so that it dries with that pinched area in it. Now I'm going to take another piece of ribbon and tie it into a little knot. I'll wrap this knot around the center of the bow and glue the ends down to the back of the bow. Then I'll hot glue that bow tie on right below the gingerbread man's mouth. Now I'm going to glue those little Santas that I painted on so that it looks like he's holding a Santa garland. Then I am going to add some little pom-pom balls. I'm going to add some of these tiny white ones between each Santa so that it looks even more like a garland. And then I'll use 2 of these bigger sparkly green ones for gumdrop buttons. And now this project is complete. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and that it was helpful to you. If you liked today's video, some easy and completely free ways to help support my channel and help it grow so that I can keep bringing you more ideas are to subscribe if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up, leave me a quick comment or even just an emoji, and share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. I truly appreciate your support and I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!